had a guy straight up tell me like, look, because you have a kid, and I think she was like 6 at the time, it's going to be harder for you to get a guy who's going to want to be a male, like a father role model, because men are thinking he had a kid himself. So he was thinking, I don't want some other guy to be a father to my kid. So I'm not going to go and be that for somebody else's kid. Also, he was saying that men are thinking like, what if I give all this kid all this love and the mom turn around and sleep or go back with the ex? Like these are the kinds of things he was thinking that men think. Is that true? Do you guys have those kinds of concerns when it comes to
Maturity
dating
level.
single?
It's a
Oh,
maturity level.
come on, Bernard.
I'm just saying, it's a maturity level. All so if you're going in and dating a woman with a sole purpose of getting to know that woman and to make that woman a part of your world, her being making you better and you making her better, you ain't got time to worry about no other guy. You know what I'm saying? That's obsolete. But if you were in the dating pool to play games and all this other stuff, and you just worried about this and that and what they gonna do, there ain't no trust in the get go. So you ain't. I mean, it is what it is.
All right now, Tori, come on.
My approach is a little bit different because of the way that I grew up. So like I grew up as in a single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to see someone who is also in a single parent home at the time that I meet their mom and them, my approach is to try my best to keep them from having to experience the same feelings that I had growing up of being in a single parent home and not having two individuals. Now, granted, I can't be that person's father, but I can still be a father figure. So, like questions that they might have that they can't go to their mom about, they have an outlet as opposed to either keeping it inside or finding the wrong outlet to voice their frustrations and to get the answers to their questions.
Oh my God, this conversation could go all over the place because I'm just thinking of more and more stuff as it comes up. I'm thinking about if you have a little girl like mine that's 9, for example, she's gonna be 10, 12. Are you guys okay with another man as a father figure, like, hugging her, sitting on the couch, cuddling, watching a movie? Like, you know what I mean? Like the physical, like how, because it's not, if it's not in a perverted way, but it's, them just showing love, physically. What do you guys think?
I gotta meet him. I gotta get a feel for him as well. You know what I'm saying? Because things can go sour real quick. I'm very protective of my daughter.
Bernard, you look like you just you on edge in this conversation. Bernard is like,
because I'm gonna tell you why. It's a very, very, very sad thing to know when you run across a lot of females that have been molested, raped, things of this nature. This is a very common topic that's really not talked about a lot. And a lot of times it's a boyfriend or somebody else that's been brought into a household. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very protective. You hear me? I'm very, very protective. Like, let me get a feel of this guy. You know what I'm saying? He guys can play a game to a certain level for a female they'll go over their head. But if I'm looking you man to man in the eye, you know what I'm saying? We having this conversation. It's gonna be hard for you to play a game with me because my intention is like, okay, you mess with my daughter, it's gonna be something gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Or you mess with my lady, something gonna happen. So let me have that conversation. Let me step in and be that bouncer. Let me step in and be that protector. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stance on that.
Okay. Ooh, so it depends on the man. He better come right. Come correct.
You got to. You got to.
Tori, how about you, Tori? How would you feel, showing physical love to a kid that wasn't yours, especially like like I said, male, female, child?
I feel the same way. Like the way he feels about his daughter is the same way I feel about her. Like she's 18 and she'll be forever be God baby to me, forever. And like she's 2 hours away from me, and if she needed something, all she has to do is call, and I'm not going to bat an eyelash. I would have to meet the person. because there things can go so many different ways. There've been so many, like Bernard said, there've been so many women that have been sexually abused and molested by someone that they were told to call uncle, or this is my mom's friend, and not knowing what his intentions are. So you have to be mindful, and you don't automatically assume that that's what that person's motives are, but you're not going to put it past them either until you get to know them. And even when you get to know them, you still have that inkling of doubt, because you're like, you know what, this could be a front, just to the point where he feels like I'm comfortable and I trust him, and then whatever his original motive is
Right.
is then to be carried out. So that's my viewpoint on it.
Ooh, man, it's touchy. It's touchy. Because I thought about when I first had her and stuff. Of course, I wasn't dating for like a minute, but I was thinking like, oh man, what if I nanny cam him or something? Like put a little something with camera where he can't see. Would you guys be mad at that? Like if a girl at first, when she left you alone with their kids for like maybe for like a good month, she put on a nanny cam, you didn't know it was there, but you eventually found out that she had did that, would y'all wouldn't be mad?
I wouldn't be mad
at all,
because she that's her child, that's her baby. You know what I'm saying? That's her everything. That's her world. You know what I'm saying? You just want to make sure your world is straight. You know what I'm saying? Right. You want to make sure your heart is protected. You know, a lot of things happen when them doors are closed and nobody can see. Make sure you telling me you doing exactly what you say you're gonna do when them doors are closed.
Right.
So I wouldn't be mad because I know my intent and my intentions are still pure. They're one and the same.
Tori, you wouldn't mind either.
No, because they say your true character is revealed when no one else is around. So that would be a situation where that person would feel like nobody else is around. So you get to see who that person is, right, when in their mind, nobody else is around, even though you have the ability to see everything that they're doing. So any doubts that you might have, you'll get all of the answers to your questions at that particular point in time.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. Really? I mean, but it goes the same way on guys. You know what I'm saying? Like my kids are my heart. You know what I'm saying? So for a female, look, you better come with it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that certain type of persona about you. You gotta have that certain type of characteristic. You know what I'm saying? You have to be nurturing. You can tell somebody is nurturing or not. You know what I'm saying? Just by a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? By conversation. You know what I'm saying? The interaction she has. Oh, dang, I fell. I hurt my ankle. Oh, let me see what's up. Let me see. Let me go get some ice. or are they sitting up there laughing at you? You know, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like you can pick up on stuff like that. So if you gonna be with me, you know what I'm saying? It's certain type of characteristics that you got to have, because my kids are with me a lot, and I'm with my kids a lot. So quite naturally, if I'm with them and you plan on being with me, it's gonna be some interaction. I need to know they good, you know.
Exactly.
So it goes on both sides of the spectrum. Like Nicole, would you be upset if I say, hey, babe, you know, I'm about to go to the store. You know, you need anything now? Cool, bam, go to the store. You watching the kids. I'm looking at the phone like, okay, is she trying to cuss my kids out or tell them shut up or be quiet or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, would you be upset
if he nanny cam me? Yeah. Like record? No, absolutely not.
Because your intentions and your intent are pure.
Right.
I mean, I would understand it. I would understand because, like I said, I thought it myself, so I would totally understand. So it's interesting that both of you guys felt that way. That I didn't expect that answer, so it's good to know.
I'm a dad. I'm a father.
Right.
Yeah, because that's the thing is when you're nanny cam, I'm seeing everything. So if you went and beat your meat while they was taking a nap, you'd be like, "What thing? You got me spraying on camera?" You're like,
right.
I had to be. I had to be
Yeah,
certain.
you know, sparked up one and you blew it in their face. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. You just sitting a baby on the couch. You
like time to go
what
night
are
night.
you doing?
Take this drink real quick. Time to go night night.
What is you doing? Did you just blow smoke in my baby's face? Like, what is wrong with
I
you?
mean, we joking now. Everybody, hey, and we joking now, but it's a lot of people that actually do this stuff. So,
Right.
parents, please be protective of your kids at all times. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yes.
glad daycares are now they're making it popular, more popular and popular, doing the video surveillance.
Oh yes.
It's coming up too many times where kids are being abused at daycare centers. So
Okay.
just imagine your partner doing this at home. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So keep all that in mind.
Ooh, and look the men up. Like you can look guys up on
Oh,
registered
I'll Google a female quick.
register, sex offenders, registered sex
Google,
offenders.
man,
you can look
look.
them up.
Hey,
You can go.
I might pay that $4.99 for that 1 month to find out everything I need to know.
You hear me?
Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, it's a great conversation. Great, great, great conversation. So 2 more questions and then we'll be out. I wanted to talk about, because Bernard, you talked about that you have kids. If you date women with kids, how do you successfully, or do you know of others who successfully have blended families, like where the kids are from separate? How do how do you maneuver that way? What if the kids don't get along? Tell me, what do you do? How do you make it work?
So for me, of course, I think about everything. I scope out everything, but I get to know different personality traits. Like, oh, my daughter likes this. Oh, your daughter likes this. Guess what? That's a common denominator. Y'all have something in common. Hey, Lexi, they like this. Hey, Kaylin, she likes this. Y'all have something to talk about. You know, or guess what? Everybody likes ice cream. I ain't met a person that don't like ice cream yet. You know what I'm saying? you bring them together. It's all about togetherness. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can have a huge family, right? But you got a family feud that's going on. Everybody knows this family feud is going on. But when that family reunion takes place, you got a barbecue. Everybody like barbecue. You got music. You got drinks. Everybody coming to have a good time. So I bring that into the same aspect of a blended family. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Play games together. Laugh together. Have a dynamic that is going to bring y'all closer than close.
Okay.
You know, and if you have that same ground that you can always come back to, it can lead to success. That's the start of it. That's just the start.
Okay. So getting that like inclusive mindset, like, okay, we're making sure that everyone is included, making sure everyone feels together.
We ain't leaving nobody out. We ain't leaving nobody out. Okay, you shy, I'm shy. Okay, well, hey, we're gonna just sit here and look at each other like we crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta make jokes out of it. But
right.
You get the gist of it.
Because that's the thing is, some people aren't good with the icebreakers. It's like, okay, this isn't my kid. How do I know what they like?
Everybody like ice cream.
Oh, see, I like that, Bernard.
Everybody like ice cream.
I like that.
Even the lactose intolerant people.
Hey, we'll go get a snow cone. You know what I'm saying?
But Bernard, you're right in terms of finding out their interests. Because if they see that you take notice of their interest and perhaps get them something or bring them somewhere they're interested in, that shows that might bring them to be a little bit more comfortable. So that's true. Tori, have you seen any kind of blended families do that successfully?
I have seen them do it successfully, but the thing that's like really interesting is that both parents instill in the children that even though they might have their differences and you're going to have your good days and bad days where y'all can't stand each other, when all of them step foot outside of the house, they are a united front against anything that tries to come against the house. And those children take that to heart, no matter where they are, whether it's in the neighborhood, whether it's at school. And I think that them knowing that, it allows them to form a relationship to where they realize, you know what, at the end of the day, no matter how we got here, we're still family, we're still brothers and sisters, and we have each other's back.
Okay. All right. So I like that. So good feedback again, because in this day and age, many people have kids in the 30s and 40s. So, there might be that whole blended family thing going on. So those are, good suggestions of how people could kind of make that work together. So that's awesome. So the last thing we're going to talk about is what, based on you guys, because we have again a guy with no kids and a man with kids on the line. What's your concern about dating women who are single moms? Like, and or your friends, what kind of concerns do you normally hear that come up about men considering to date women with kids?
For me, especially, just the whole thing about trauma. What kind of trauma have they been around? Are they over that trauma? Um, how comfortable are you to have your child around somebody else? Not just saying you want to be with somebody, but how comfortable are you letting your child be around somebody else? Because this
Now,
day and age, kids don't even like playing outside right now.
Ooh,
You know, so how can you date somebody? You don't want your kid around nothing. You know what I mean? So it's different things, man. Like but it all boils down to conversation.
mm,
Conversation. You learn a lot by conversation. So
I
those
agree,
hard
Bernard.
conversations early on is just gonna get easier later on. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have those hard conversations. Um, just as you mentioned, man. Hey, I like to do a nanny cam. I mean, are you opposed to that? Like they'll either tell you yes or no. I mean, but guess what? And in my back of their mind, they be like, "Oh, he crazy," or you know what? I ain't even think about that.
So,
So perspective.
so Bernard, I love that you said communication because again, I noticed that on almost every episode, communication is key.
He,
Bernard, when you
he,
said trauma, are you talking about like the kid having a prior experience or the
both mother,
mom? Okay,
mother and child, mother
okay,
and child.
okay,
Because a
okay.
lot of times, kids might not say nothing. Kids are in the background a lot. They hear
Mhm,
every argument. They see every fight. They might not talk about it, but they see it.
mhm,
That doesn't mean they're not traumatized behind it.
mhm, mhm.
So the mother and the child, you got to make sure
Okay.
you're ready for a relationship.
Yeah, because that's a touchy subject because on one hand, you want to be open and let a guy know if those kinds of things happen, but then again, you might be shy away from it because you don't know if they're themselves are abuser, and if they hear that, hey, you let these people get away with this or this happened, that hey, haha, you're my target now. You know what I mean? And it's not
Mm-hmm.
something somebody probably wants to divulge very early on. So it is something that's really sensitive, and you do have to find the right time to have that kind of conversation. But it definitely needs to be had. Tori, tell me what are your concerns or what do you hear as like common kind of concerns men have about dating single moms?
Um, the relinquishing of her feeling like she has to do everything herself.
Ooh, that's a
Um,
big one.
being open and realizing that he's there to help and to make her life a lot easier.
Mm,
Um, what
that's a good.
I've noticed is that, and I can only speak of one of the previous relationships that I've been in, is the dynamic of the mother's relationship with each one of their children individually, especially if it's obvious that one of them is shown favoritism that the other
Ooh,
ones are not shown.
Mm,
And having that conversation with those children about how they feel about the fact that it's blatantly obvious that they're not a favorite compared to the other one. So, like, there's so much unraveling
oof.
that you have to, if you're going to date somebody who has children, you have to be ready for what you're stepping into because they're going to be different roles that you are going to have to carry out. It's not just, oh, you're my mom's boyfriend. It's you're my mom's boyfriend, you're the protector, you're a counselor. Like, it's various things that you have to be ready for at any given time when you step into that type of situation.
Ooh, those are all amazing points. And you made me think about you made me Renard, ah, You made me think about criticism, like women being open to criticism about their parenting. Man, can you tell a woman
I'll
that?
I'll give you an example, Nicole.
Woo!
So there was this individual that I dated who she had a baby, right, when we met. And when I would call her, every time I called her, she was always yelling at him. Stop doing this, stop doing that, put this down, don't touch this, don't touch that. And being on the receiving end, you're thinking, damn, this is a bad little boy. And then once I got to actually spend time with him by myself, my parenting style was a lot different, where I wasn't yelling at him all of the time. And by watching his response to me just having a conversation with him, let me know that all the time that she was yelling at him, it wasn't him being bad, it was him tuning her out, because that wasn't the communication style that worked best for him.
Man,
If
so
women do it
much.
to men, but men do it to women too. Bang bang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Good point, Tori.
Man, it's again, this topic, has so many different parts to it. So I think, as Bernard said a million times, and I agree, communication. So yes, have those, tough conversations up front. Make it clear, what's our disciplining style? What role do you see me as a stepfather? Just go through, like Bernard said, any past traumas, like Tori stated. I mean, there's so much to unpack when it comes to the stepfather's role in the dating field, but that's what this whole discussion is, just to get people feeling more comfortable about having those discussions, maybe hear about some of the concerns men and women have about the whole role of a stepfather, and you continuing on these discussions, okay? Let us know in the chat what you're thinking. Let us know any experiences you've had, any advice you want to give to folks that are trying to date and be a stepfather. And I want to thank people like you both who have assumed the role as kind of quote unquote stepfather, or being a male presence in someone's life. We need you, we need you, we need you. Thank you so much. And you guys, I think, are great examples on this show of like men, okay? The kind of answers you give, it really brings clarity to us women, and I really appreciate it. You guys have any final words before we sign out here?
Man, just talk. Be honest with yourself first and foremost. Talk to your mates. Get to know your mates. You know what I'm saying? If you see a flag, take on that flag. You know what I'm saying? Talk about that flag if you got to. If you ain't running, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because let it be known it's a flag. Hey, hold up. Hey, you had a little anger problem back there. Hey, I need you to like tone that down because I got kids. Like, confront it. Don't be scared of it. Confront it. Because if you do it when it happens, later on, it shouldn't be no issue later on. You know what I'm saying? So if it does happen again later on, guess what? I gave you that warning. I'm out. So, but communicate, be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner. Let them know what your intent and intention is when it comes to dating, and when it comes to dating when you do have kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Rev. All right now. Tori, what you got to say?
Oh, I got to follow the bishop now.
Right.
Y'all gonna stop.
Bishop BJ. I just piggyback off what he said. Communication. I don't think you can never talk too much to find out everything that you need to know. You can find out on the surface stuff. You can find out stuff to get to the root of the issue as to why a person perceives the way that they perceive, why they react, why they believe what they believe. Which I think helps people understand each other a lot better, and then you can come to a common ground and be a united front going forward. Because I think that when it comes to children, whether they're all biologically yours or whether you're being a step parent, the two parents or the two adults being a united front will play a major part, because they're going to try to put one against the other at some point, just to see how you all respond and to see what they can get away with.
So thank you again for joining us tonight or today on My Comfy Couch. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend. And we want to know if you're interested in being on the show, hit us up, okay? And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, okay? Because there I post if we have live events. You've probably seen Bernard and Tori, and they'll be on for some more live action. So if y'all want to know when we're going live, you need to be on our social media for when I post those, okay? And thank you again, and we'll see you next time on My Comfy Couch. Toodles!